So, President of the Republic of South Africa, President Cyril Ramaphosa, have just joined the ANC 55th Congress for it to resume next year, January 5th. Now, he had spoke about a lot of things as he was trying to deliver his speech as the new elected of the ANC. And there is also a lot of things that he said. Before we get to discuss all those things, I want to bring you the highlights of what we'll be discussing in this video. Of course, we want to find out exactly what can we take from this ANC conference so far, from starting from day one to this day, the whole activities. What did you note? We'll try to bring a close look on all the activities that had took place in this conference. And then we'll try to discuss about what President Ramaphosa had said today, because the President of the Republic is asking for ANC member to be united. He's asking for the unity of the ANC and the renewal of the ANC. We have a question which we have raised for you guys to know by when the president is saying these words, how is that going to be possible if it's not that he's just arriving in power? Instead, he was there before he get to be re-elected again by the ANC delegates. If it is all about unity or unite, preaching about unity of the ANC, why did you not do so before this election come? Now that the president have got that courage to come and speak about the unity of the ANC and the renewal of the ANC, is this unity and the renewal of the ANC spelling other people aside? Or is it going to involve each and every member that's supposed to be part of the ANC? That's are the questions that we're going to discuss with you in this video, guys. But before we get to start, allow me to welcome you all to our YouTube channel. This is Cool Bez, and what we do here time to time is that we take a look on trending matter in the world of news, a celebrity, or anything that is happening around the country. We get to choose a topic, sit down and have a conversation with you, talk about it in details, because I know that it's going to benefit each one of us. So please feel free to subscribe to the channel if this is your first time to come across our videos. Allow me also to take this moment just to thank each and every Cool Bez fan, all Cool Bez subscribers. I just want to thank you guys. You are so important. Thank you so much for your time to always stick to our channel, especially to those who always taking good care of our community in the comment section. And here, without forgetting, I have to acknowledge the presence of Nomonde. Yes, I mean, very wonderful work that Nomonde does for us in the comment section. So we have to acknowledge that as well. Well, guys, my name is Dopsi Nyembe, for those who don't know me, and I'll be the host in this video for you guys. And as I announced in our highlights of this video, that you know, today, day for day, the ANC have finally adjoined the 55th Congress, which was going since last week. I think it started on Friday or Thursday. Friday it was the gala dinner, so Friday it is when it started. And normally it's supposed not to be adjourned. The Congress is supposed to be finished today, and everyone, they can go in their own corner and go and celebrate whatsoever they're supposed to be up to, because the companies are closing. But unfortunately, it was announced that this Congress, it will resume next year, 5th of January. And when we get to understand what had really happened, well, we find out that they did not respect the program according to the calendar. So there were kind of like a lot of things which happened, and on our side we also do understand the organization of the ANC. they had a lot of things on their page. Everything, it was on delay, starting from the moment when they started registering these members. About 4,000 of members. It took them about a day and a half, or should I say 2 days, in order for them to finish up with all members. So I think they need to do something when it comes to that part, because the world technology have developed a lot. So you don't need to be registering people only when they have to come there by the conference center in Nasarek. Instead, they can create even a certain call an app, you know, a something whereby you can get to verify yourself, as much we do with our IDs, where you go in, you type your ID in, you put your details and everything, and then it will confirm whether you are ANC member or not. Once you fill in with all these details, it will have to tell whether you are qualified to be one of the delegates which was supposed to be in that conference or not. Why they can't do that? Because ANC, they have money. They have money. I mean, creating such kind of things is nothing for a political party such as the ANC. They have money. Last Thursday in Gala dinner, you guys, I told you and I show you the videos of Paul Mashatile on how he was explaining some of the partners of the ANC who had to pay 1 million of rent per a seat. And guess how many guests they were there? A lot of guests they were there. And they have to pay all those amount of 1 million, 1 million, 1 million. So you can tell for yourself that there is money. And they can organize something to put everything in the system, so that each and every ANC member who's a delegate, who's supposed to be voting, they should just go in through an app or a website, and they put all the details, so that when they are coming to the Nasarek, then they'll come as registered members already. Perhaps there'll be someone, since they always give them those cards that they usually put on the neck, perhaps there'll be someone sitting or standing next to the gate, to the entrance gate. Once you arrive in, you give your details, your card member ID or your South African ID, and they'll just type in the system. Everything will appear up there, and they give you the card, you put on your neck, then you go in. Why they can't do that? Because if they do like that, on my point of view, I think it will really help them to save a lot of time, instead of them keep on focusing on things that does not even make sense, that keep on wasting them time. Besides the delay that they took time to register members to enter the Nasrec, the whole program was in delay. Even the time was not respected anymore. So they were much focused into the elections instead of discussing other matters that compose the policies of the ANC. We get to see President of Republic Cyril Ramaphosa, who came in and give his statement, a speech of state, report of state, a proper word should I say. After giving it, they're supposed to be debating through that. But since they were all focused more on the elections, they want to solve this problem of the election, and these matters will be treated after then with the new leadership. That is how everything's keep on taking time. And then they did so. But guys, the day when the president was coming in, as you arrive, he started giving the speech. We saw former President Jacob Zuma walking in with a group of people. And we said to you that normally in the state protocol, such things is not allowed. And the person who walked in, if it was another individual person, I believe they were not going to allow him to go in. If they had to allow Jacob Zuma to come in, it's not because he was not considered as a member of the ANC, but instead he was considered as someone who used to be the former president in this country. He came in, we saw how it disturbed everything, and the President Cyril Ramaphosa was interrupted. He had to keep quiet and give these ANC delegates chance for them to do whatever they were doing. We get to see how they were busy singing some ugly song against President Ramaphosa and praising former President Jacob Zuma. Here again, we should note that Ramaphosa, regardless of what we can say bad about him, but he have proven another, should I say, maturity. Because the way I know, other presidents, they're not going to tolerate this kind of nonsense. They'll make it hard for you. They'll make you pay for it. Me, as a head of the state, I'm giving my speech, and you coming in with your people starting making noise. So, guys, here, I mean, on that part, we have to acknowledge at least that President Ramaphosa had done something that not any president can do so. Me, I know some presidents around the world, they'll even make you arrest. They're not even going to let you come in. And even if you come in by force, something will happen. In the next place, you'll find yourself being arrested. That's the reason why you get to hear that there's too much dictatorship all over, especially in Africa. At least President Ramaphosa, that was not the case with him. He was very humble. He humiliated himself. He did what he could have done by then. So, guys, President Zuma came in. Whatever happened, happened. We forgot about that day. Because the following day, it was all about on how they have to discipline him. And the next things, they're like, no, you can't punish him. And the next things, they're like, no, we can't do this. Let us wait for the new leadership. But let's jump quick to the part of the new leadership. As we all know that we're having two candidates who were racing for the position of the president of the ANC. That is Cyril Ramaphosa and Dr. Zweli Mkhize. And these people, we get to see how they had to campaign. I told you in our previous video on how people who were campaigning for President Ramaphosa. I'm seeing Fikile Mbalula, who's now also the SG of the ANC. I could feel that arrogance and that threatening message through his language, where he kind of like imposing people to go and vote for the president. So that is another question we have to leave, because we're not too sure that everyone who did vote for the president, they were actually excited to vote for him, or they just do it because they're being threatened. That is something we're going to find out as time goes, because remember, there is nothing that can be hidden under this world, and nothing going to happen about it. So we're going to find out about it. But now that they have done the election, the time of announcing the result by former President Kgalema Motlanthe, we get to see a sad face, excuse me, a sad face of President Ramaphosa. Excuse me, guys. We get to see a sad face of President Ramaphosa. He was very sad, busy focus in his phone. I don't know who was he chatting with. I don't know whether they were trying to announce him a bad news or what. I don't know. I really don't know what was going on. And as former President Kgalema Motlanthe mentioned the total number of votes on Zweli Mkhize, you could see some people in the crowd, they try to shout. And I think that is when the president got confused. Before I get to continue, I want you to watch this video more closely, as you get to see the reaction of the president when they announced the result. Look at his reaction as well.
Comrades, sit down, please take your seats. Comrades, sit down and take your seats. Sit down, take your seats, listen very attentively. For Comrade Mkhize Zwelini, his total is 1,897. And for Comrade Ramaphosa Cyril, his total is 2,476.
Well, you see that the president is very sad, you know, and this sadness that he had to manifest in the last minute, maybe is because he had calculated wrong. Remember, when former President Kgalema Motlanthe was busy announcing giving the result, most of people, they were having calculator already, because they have to say, for example, okay, we had 4,000 votes, and out of this 4,000 votes, we have 200 and something sustain. Out of this, we remain with this amount. Now, Zwelini Mkhize get this amount. So when he mentioned the total number of votes for Zwelini Mkhize, it happened that people who were calculated, people who were sure already that the President Ramaphosa had won the election, they shouted. Because remember, we are not all the same in mathematics. There are some people, they have a brain that capture mathematical calculation very quick. They calculate very quick. The moment you start opening up your mouth, before you get even to finish the whole context of the word, they already get the result. And that's what happened. So people who shouted, they only see the number of votes that Zwelini Mkhize came out with. Then they were like, okay, which means the rest of the votes goes to President Ramaphosa. And Zwelini Mkhize came out with something like a 1,000 guys, 1,000 something, 800 if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 800 something. Now, obviously, you can tell already that out of this 800, what about the one that remains? Which means it goes to the President Ramaphosa. So they shouted. That shout, in the mind, in the thought of the president, he think that they were shouting because Zwelini Mkhize have won the election. And until when they had now to mention his name, and people were surrounding him, we're talking about Panzani Lusufi, there were so many of them who were there, they start celebrating. And that is the time when you get to see, as you can see in the video, that the president now removed the hand on his cheek and stand up and start now laughing, because you could see some people who were coming to congratulate him. So when you look his move, his body language, it was a way of someone who was feeling defeated already. Someone was disappointed already. And then until they got to be informed by people who were next to him that, Mr. President, congratulations, then he started now becoming Ramaphosa that we know. So in other words, Mr. President was surprised. He went to the stage, you get to see him, and after then we start seeing they're calling names, and surprisingly, Paul Mashatile came. came out as a deputy president. Now, for those who always watch us time to time, can you now believe me when I told you that when we're sitting here, we might not have that good accent in English, we might not be that good and like sounding more professional, but things that we do speak in this channel, it does make sense, because I have said to you more than 3 times in 3 different videos about these calculations that the ANC they have done. And I was telling you this, it was in a report with the Palapala, a thing whereby they are asking the ANC to release President Ramaphosa. For them, they're like, no, we can't abandon Ramaphosa right now. Instead, if the pressure is too much, let us keep Ramaphosa. Let us save Ramaphosa to not appear inside the parliament. Once Ramaphosa is saved from the parliament, we're going to come to the Congress. We're going to vote for Ramaphosa. And we're going to make sure that we vote Paul Mashatile as his deputy president. So that when we get in 2023, somewhere there, from January to February, President Ramaphosa will resign. Once he resigns, Paul Mashatile is going to take over to take people to the election. I have been saying this time to time. And the moment when they called the name of Paul Mashatile, I was like, oh God, I knew it. And that's what happened. So now the only thing remains on what I've been telling you. You're going to see very soon, President Ramaphosa will resign. Not by his willing. His willing is already manifested. He wanted to resign, but some people in the ANC, they refused for him to resign. So right now, he's back to the same Ramaphosa who don't want to resign, because he have survived. He survived in the parliament. He survived in the Nazareth ANC 55th conference. So it even make him become more stronger. President Ramaphosa is not going to resign anymore. But there will be a certain pressure which will come to make him resign from the office. And this pressure is going to come from the opposition parties. Because remember, though the president survived in the parliament about Palapala, the matter is not finished. The opposition parties, they did not cross their hands and say that we are done. No, instead they say, we are coming with another plan. Yesterday, I played you a video, which I'm about to play again for you, in behalf of President of the EFF, Julius Malema. Let's have a listen first to what he said the moment he found out that the man who've been wanting to leave the office, President Cyril Ramaphosa, is back again. They have renewed their trust in him. ANC delegates, they have want to continue with Ramaphosa. Let's have a listen to what President of EFF have said then.
So, atsebo wina ola a o bolele selon. Nkwertlo e beta o fitela e rua o werdo sagalena. Arati Ramaphosa, he will not finish his term. Ritlolo le ena are riko parliamentary. From today, this guy is a delinquent president. Raur ntwa ithomile. Delinquent president. Akasa ikria peace in that parliament. We are going to fight him until he resigns, because how can you sleep on a dollar mattresses when our people do not have water? Anamola Varambata. Just outside this farm, a lot of squatter camps are there. How many people can he change by just putting water in those squatter camps? So many millions of dollars cash in one man's house. Di tale ka hara safe, di chuluwe, ba kie safe, ba di ntse ba tomo di swametsa ka hara, apo tomo itša ka matrase, ura gore mo o khutišang, o tetši. Go tetši. So, na rolwa le Ramaphosa. Wena e le gore o ya tšotšo le mmera, na o se ka re bala, na re lwa le batho ba, because they've continued the indignity of African people in South Africa. ANC e re kwisitše bohloko, ANC ya re sotla, maburu ba be ba le kaone. Whites were better than the ANC. You know why? Whites did not know us, and when they don't care about us, it is our better kampam. Utlore wena wa ntwela wena mane. Mara a chomi ya ka better kampama or ngwana ino better kampam is the most painful thing. It hurts the most. Or o ka mpetha wena o tseba ngore ke na le di asthma, wena o tseba malwetse yaka, ola ke a mo kwisisa a ntsebe mara wena. That's how we feel about the ANC today. The ANC should have known our pain much better than the whites. That's why we say they are worse, because their pain, their clap hits more harder. Because mo ke bolelang gore batho ba nwa metsi le tonki ka mola ya otokofana, o na le councilor ya ANC mon.
Well, you see for yourself that the president of EFF was very clear in his message, telling Ramaphosa that though you survive, here, you have not survived yet. You're still swimming. And there is no way that you're going to finish your mandate. That is the president of EFF, Julius Malema. And this is not the first time you've been saying this. You've been saying this for some times now. Do you guys still remember the day when you went to attend, I think, the KZN EFF People Choice Assembly, something like that, where he had to tell people that the reason why we're kicking Ramaphosa out of the office is because Ramaphosa forget his responsibility as the head of the state. Ramaphosa forget to play his role as a president, his role as a pilot. Ramaphosa, he considered Ramaphosa as a pilot in the aeroplane who had leave to run the the aeroplane, and went inside in where there's passengers to start selling them Zimbas. So therefore he had promised and said that there is no way that President Ramaphosa will finish his terms. So I believe this time when they were calling the president inside the parliament and everything, for him, I believe it was a very big victory until the ANC uncallers that are in the parliament, they went on and vote in favor of the President Ramaphosa. So that is politics for you. Though there were too much dramas, which I don't have time to discuss everything about it, but that was his idea. So he only want to make sure that the president don't really survive to finish his mandate. So we shall wait and see. But in the near future, I strongly believe that even the president don't resign from the office, the pressure will be too much on him. So unless maybe if he come, he solve like the problem that is hanging on his neck, the load shedding, which I'm about to experience anytime soon from now. If it happened that my camera went off, just try to understand load shedding is on my way any moment soon. So if the President Ramaphosa finish the load shedding, if the President Ramaphosa try to solve the problem of the food price increasing, all this crisis that we've been experiencing so far in the country, then I think it's going to be very hard for them to take him off of the office. And it's going to work in his advantage until 2024 for upcoming election. So, in other words, the president of South Africa, Mr. Ramaphosa, is being given another chance for him to do what is right. For him to prove to people of South Africa that regardless of the challenges that we face, the ESCOM problem, the economy, the unemployment, the COVID-19, regardless of anything, I'm still your president and I do worry about you and I can do anything. Look how I'm fighting. If you do so, well, people are still going to vote for him. But if you don't do so, I'm afraid to say that people will take that angle of saying that, okay, you survive in the parliament, you survive at the ANC 55th conference election. Now that is our turn. The big master, what can you do? They can suspend him. Or they can also feel like renewing their trust in him again. So the chance is right in the hand of Mr. President. And we hope and believe that you'll do something good during this few time that remain for him to go to the another election of the the general election. So guys, that is what we can say from the president. But now that Paul Mashatile has become the deputy president, Fikile Mbalula replaced him, because Fikile Mbalula, he had to come back again this time to try his luck. And this time it worked good for him. And whether we like it or not about Fikile Mbalula, guys, is one of the guy, I believe he have a history to tell when it comes in the ANC. Because look at him. Since he became like that person in the ANC, he always occupied the big post. If he does not occupy the one post inside the ANC, he will take one in the government. From one minister to another minister. If you remove him in the ANC, you remove him in the government, they're still going to give him another big responsibility, like to be the director of the campaign for the president. And he does deliver in most of the things. Look at among all the ANC ministers that are being accused from different allegations. You'll find out it is very hard to find Fikile Mbalula. And even if you find his name under his ministry, you find that they pick 1, 2, 3 things and nothing bigger that you can come and say that, hey, Mbalula have done this, and you know. So he's one of those guys who are very lucky and they're trying their best to remain their professional. So I believe people of the ANC, the fact that they decide to vote for him, they did not make mistake. I believe they look around, they're like, no, this position, we need someone like Mbalula. Wabu. Yes, he can talk too much, that guy. He can defend it. Look, he's the most popular on Twitter. He have the number of tweeters which are even more higher than the presidency account, even the president himself. It is very high, more than a lot of politicians out there. That is a sign of showing that you are dealing not with just any other individual, but you are dealing with an influencer. And he had proven it. Look how many votes he came out with. So some of these members who were there, they came out with 300 votes after talking too much in the media, shouting, speaking louder. They came out from there, nothing special, nothing good. So Fikile Mbalula is the one who took over, and yesterday he had to give his first press conference where he get to speak about a lot of things. You know, he gets to answer to some questions. And today he did also give another press conference, as he had to come and announce about the adjournment of this conference to next year, 5th of January. So I want you guys just to watch this part of his press conference, then we'll continue after then.
Because we finished, I briefed you yesterday, we finished around 12 o'clock the commissions. we voted up until that time. So you were voting from the commissions for the top 7, and that is what happened. So our commissions were well attended, and they produced good results. And the rapporteurs and the chairs of the commissions will give you the flavor of what was discussed and what is the attitude of the delegates and the conference on a whole number of issues, up until we come back to you again in about 2 weeks or 3 weeks. The president of the ANC is the custodian of policy. He pronounces policy. It means he has read the resolutions. He has a thorough understanding of what is the spirit of conference on a whole number of issues. So there's nothing like personal views from the president. He is given that by the ANC constitution. Just like me, I'm the custodian of the ANC constitution. You misbehave, I deal with you. And there will be no retreat on that. That's what this conference has bestowed on me, not as Mbalula, Secretary General. Is expected to enforce the law of the ANC. Renewal or death. That's what we must do. When we say we renew, we must be unambiguous about the renewal. It must be felt, it must be seen that this is the party that is renewing itself, not a party that comes to a conference and struggles with registration. In the era of technological highway, people are using technology and all of that. What happened here will be something of the past. The ANC must be dynamic. Good things and advanced things must be seen from the ANC. Just like South Africa, when you want to see good things in style and fashion, you always look at Soweto. And then you know that then thereafter will just be following, because Soweto has been a trendsetter in many ways, because they are just next to OR Tambo Airport, Soweto people. So now we are very far from airports where we come from. We don't even, it is only during the era of democracy that we got exposed to airports and aeroplanes. So that is the report, that is the issue with regard to the matter of the president address. The issue of role of two DSGs, each one of them will have a role to play, but they've got their strength as persons, but we want everyone to express themselves and not close them down on what the Constitution says it is expected from them. It means they must do the political work. They are political officers. The Deputy Secretary General's role in the main was reduced to administrative work. But even if it is not written in the Constitution, Nomvula and Maropeni, they are political animals. They must express themselves. They must lead and not become administrators. They must lead politically and based on their capabilities and their strengths. Yesterday, DSGs, I was asked about what am I bringing in this portfolio by Mkokeli, I think. Yeah, so I explained to him that my upbringing and training is organizational development and party construction. I'm an expert on that. I was trained very, very, very far about that work. So in the school of excellence called the ANC Youth League, I was trained in that. So I was trained also by the Germans. So when you do my profiling, I'll give you some things you don't know. But we leave that to one-on-one, okay? But thank you very much. We are continuing, like we said, us, and thank you, Comrade Pule, for the diligent work you are doing with the media. Your job is guaranteed. Thank you.
You get voted for. He doesn't know. Yeah? Pule, I said to the Sato voted.
Well, thanks very much to the SGO for the time. Thanks so very much. We are still going to be here with the commission for the next 34 hours. Last time we did 6 hours.
Well, as you see for yourself, that is the new elected SG of the ANC, Fikile Mbalula. He sound very determined, disciplined at the same time, because he know already at what level the ANC it is. He knows, he's well aware of all the nonsense that's been happening in the ANC. And he know what is waiting for him if he fail to defeat all these challenges that the ANC they've been facing today. So he had to do something. He have to do something about it. And that is the reason why you get to see him. It is that he's still that Fikile Mbalula of trying to joke a little bit, to laugh here and then, but you look more serious. Did you guys get to listen on how he threatened already some members of the ANC who used to bad behave themselves? He had to remind them that you are dealing with a Fikile Mbalula. I have been trained in Germany. I've been done that. I've been... Yeah, you know these things of like me. I've been in America. Me, I have done that. Me, I have seated in the same table with Donald Trump. Me, I have... That's what I get to see here. So anyway, but it's also good for his campaign, because he's trying to promote his name. He's trying to remind people that you are no longer dealing with Paul Mashatile. Instead, you are dealing with Fikile Mbalula. Yes. And you know, he get to make this joke yesterday about the ANC national spokesperson Pule Mabe, of whether he's going to stay or whether he's going to go. Because remember, Pule Mabe is not supported the President Ramaphosa. Pule Mabe campaigned for Dr. Zweli Mkhize. So normally, once your candidate has failed, you have to leave as well. Because when Pule Mabe was campaigning for Dr. Zweli Mkhize, Fikile Mbalula was on the other side campaigning for President Ramaphosa. So yesterday, he had to remind people that I'm the one who nominates. It is not the ANC, the NEC that nominate people. Me, I'm the one who's going to nominate. I can decide Pule Mabe to leave now or not. So we'll see there's a lot of options, as he said in the video. And today, he had to repeat again this. And so we don't know whether it is a joke or not. But the truth here, according to our understanding in our analytics, is that Fikile Mbalula liked or loved to work with Pule Mabe. Because whether we like it or not, Pule Mabe sometimes it can sound as a comedian, but he remains professional in his work. We get to see, though he did not vote for President Ramaphosa, but he defended the name of President Ramaphosa until the last minute. Each and every interview they will call Pule Mabe to speak or to comment about Palapala. He was very professional. He remained very professional in what he had to address to the media. So he protected his president. So if it happened that they went to the Congress and it happened that Pule Mabe did not vote for President Ramaphosa, well, now that Ramaphosa is back, if the Ramaphosa maintain him, he's going to try his best to remain on his position. And whether we like it or not, Fikile Mbalula, he needs someone like Pule Mabe when it comes to the communication of the ANC. So if the guy is good, you have to keep him. So it was kind of like maybe he had other proposal on the table. You're never going to know. Because someone might say something in jokes like the way Fikile Mbalula was talking about it. But just to find out that it's truth. Maybe he had someone already whom they had spoke with before the election that, no, look, if you win, if I become the SG of the ANC, I'm going to put you or to nominate you as the ANC national spokesperson. So Polemabe, on his side, is embarrassed, is shy, is ashamed of himself, because things turns around him. So because remember, whether we like it or not, though the president is calling for the unity of the ANC and the renewal, but I still insist there's still a problem in the ANC, a very big one. Because everyone who had voted against the president, those public figure, whether you like it or not, they are going to pay for it sooner or later. This is politics. Yes, ANC is not a family house where you fight today and tomorrow you make up and you pretend like nothing happened. No, it is a politic. Proof to that, look, the conflict between Jacob Zuma and President Ramaphosa. They are laughing before in front of cameras, but aside, they're busy taking each other to the court. This one said that, no, I sent him the letter to tell him this, it not help me. This one's like, no, I did respond to him. But in front of the camera, they pretend like nothing's happening. That is politics for you. So the moment Polemabe shows his face official to say that I'm supporting Zweli Mkhize, that already was something which had a small conflict to the people who were like, wow. So you, all this time, you've been sitting here with our president, you talking with him, you defending him, but yet you had another plan for you to come and campaign against him. So now that Ramaphosa is back, what is the outcome? Because I had told you, starting for those who vote no, who vote against Ramaphosa in the parliament, their only hope was if, there you go, the electricity is gone, guys. Just hold on a second. Let me try to switch on this light. Oh, all right, guys. You can see for yourself that we don't have enough light. So obviously, I'll have to interrupt this video. But don't you worry. I'm gonna continue with it so that we can get to finish, because it is very important to what I'm talking about. So, guys, as I was saying, you find on one side the president who had people that he think that he trusted the most, and these people, they have to come and disappoint him and vote against him. So even if you don't show it as a father of the nation, but it's going to suspend them in a very professional way. In the near future, in the near days to come, the first person, you will be seeing some of them, they'll be resigning one by one. And we will start with Nkosazana Zuma. She's going to resign. That one I know for sure. She's going to resign. After resigning, there'll be someone else, and all of them will go one by one. Or some of them will just prefer to resign and remain inside the ANC shadow, waiting for the right time for them to shoot. All because they have shown their point of view, which was different to the one of the president and his people. People who remain loyal to the president, we get to see them. Yesterday, all of them, they came out. Yes, you guys, you have Gwede Mantashe, who came in a very easy way. You have who else? About a couple of people, 3 to 4 people, whom the president himself have lines, they came back. Some of them, they came in different places or different posts, but majority, they came. So what will be the outcome of those who have failed? Well, that will take us to our last part of this video, as titled, the president called for the unity and the renewal of the ANC. Now, with all this being said, as we discussed not long ago, the president, he had to give a speech today, which is supposed to be the closing speech, but unfortunately, they only adjourned the all activities until next year. So we're still going to hear again from the president in the near future. But one of the key points that I have taken for you in this video today is when the president said that we need to renew the ANC. We need to be united. Before I get to continue, I want you to pay more a close attention to this video I'm about to play you, where the president himself trying to explain exactly this point in details. Then I'll see you after then for more analytics.
In other words, it is quite clear that the decisions that we have taken in the past to implement the national health insurance have to be speeded up and have to be implemented without any fail. Our deliberations also set out the path towards comprehensive and sustainable social protection and to the provision of, yes, affordable housing and basic services for all. We realized more clearly that the failure of basic services in various parts of our country have increased the lack of confidence that our people have in the African National Congress. And that is why this conference, having deliberated on this, will finalize its decisions in January that we must pay attention to service delivery and quality service delivery to be delivered to our people throughout the country. We have also deliberated on the actions that we must take to once and for all redress the original sin of land dispossession. We have agreed on a number of measures which will be confirmed to accelerate land reform and to provide support for the productive use of the land. We undertake land reform not only because justice demands it, but because it is necessary, or rather a necessary condition, for the growth of an inclusive economy that can realize the potential of our plentiful natural resources and the capabilities of our people. This conference has also had thoroughgoing discussions on the safety and security of the people of our country. We have outlined steps to further strengthen our police service and other law enforcement agencies to improve the effectiveness of our criminal justice system and to improve the security of our borders as well. We have reaffirmed that ours must be a police service and not a police force, and we have agreed to overhaul and harmonize our immigration laws to meet the new challenges facing our country. Crime is a problem of society and requires mobilization of all social formations, all communities and all individuals in a sustained effort to end it. We must strengthen community policing forums and coordinate more effectively the work of businesses, trade unions, community-based organizations, traditional leaders, women's organizations, youth formations, and faith-based organizations as well, to also be involved in the effort to fight crime. We must mobilize all these formations to be an integral part also of the fight against gender-based violence and femicide. This conference has, through the various discussions, provided guidance on the strengthening of the National Strategic Plan on gender-based violence and femicide, and provided clear direction to our structures and to our deployees in government on further steps that need to be taken to end this pandemic of gender-based violence and femicide. Delegates have said that the future of our country demands that we prioritize the development and empowerment of the young people of our country. In addition to the work already underway, we need to ensure equal access to high and tertiary education and should establish more TVET colleges and technical high schools, and should also be establishing more universities in various parts of the country. This conference has reiterated our commitment to a better Africa and a better world, and the steps that will need to be taken will be further elaborated as we receive the reports of the commissions in January. This 55th conference has placed the position of women, both within the ANC and in society, firmly on the center of our national election. We must welcome the fact that 3 of the top 7 officials elected by yourselves are women. Now, this is great progress, but it is not enough. I am not entirely happy that we have still got much fewer women attending conference as delegates. We need to improve on that and have equal number of men and women in our conferences. We should not rest until we have achieved full equality in all our structures of our movement, equality in terms of representation or participation, and also of opportunity. Comrades, this is something that we need to focus our attention on more closely. That as we set up structures, and even as delegates come to conference, this is an area that we need to watch more closely, so that the equality that we speak of must be practiced, firstly by the African National Congress. Our discussions at this 55th conference have taken a firm stance against corruption as well. We have recognized that corruption within the ANC is indeed a dire threat to the continued existence of our organization and to the future of the national democratic revolution. We have recognized the great progress that has been made over the last 5 years in tackling corruption within our ranks, within the state, and across society. But we have also acknowledged that we have not done enough to end corruption, to reverse the effects of state capture, and to deal with the corrosive effects of the ANC and institutions across society. We have said that government should consider establishing a vibrant and independent anti-corruption agency as a structure to address issues of corruption across the country. And this has largely been welcomed by people in our country. We have stated our determination at this conference to take all necessary steps to address this problem. We know from our recent experience that such actions can be difficult and they can also be painful. We know that these actions may be met with opposition and that they may increase discord within our own structures. But as this conference, in the deliberations that we've had, has recognized, we have no choice. We either deal with this problem or we perish as an organization. While this 55th conference has paid great attention to the difficulties that confront our nation today, it has also taken time to look towards the future. Our discussions on the Vision 2023 presented here have positioned the ANC as the movement of tomorrow. We have anticipated and are anticipating how our society and our world will change, and we have taken time to envision the organization that will be required to organize and to advance and to thrive in those circumstances of the future. We are not content to merely observe change that will unfold. This Vision 2032 is taking us along a route of setting out a roadmap through which we will contribute to the direction and the pace of social and economic change. This roadmap will outline the work that we must undertake, starting now, to make the ANC an ever more effective agent of fundamental transformation. 5 years ago in this very hall, we set out on a journey of rebuilding, of reuniting and renewing our country. There's a delegate who was present at the 54th conference from the Free State. Soon after we were elected, he ran up to the stage and stood here and said very loudly and clearly to me that, President, we want you to unite the African National Congress. That delegate is here again today, and he has expressed that same wish again, that President focus on uniting the African National Congress. And that is precisely what I see my task as President of the African National Congress, to unite this organization. Since 2017, it has been a difficult journey. We have encountered many challenges in seeking to forge this unity. At times, we have met fierce resistance. We made a number of errors along the way, but we have remained true to the course of the restoration of our movement. This 55th National Conference has confirmed that we are on the right path. But more than that, this conference has made a clear call for greater urgency and greater action, particularly in uniting and renewing the African National Congress. The delegates, as all of you have convened here, you view the ANC as an organization that must be renewed, yes, and must be united. We need, as we move on, to resolve a number of challenges that confront our country, but we also know that we can only confront those challenges if we are a united organization. If the ANC is divided, it will never be able to unite the people of South Africa. If the ANC is divided, it will never be able to build an economy that can create jobs. We need, yes, to act with resolve, to ensure that we address the turmoil, for instance, of load shedding that is taking our economy backwards. We also need to remove the obstacles to faster economic growth and job creation. We need to act against those public representatives and officials who are delaying vital reforms that we need to build a thriving economy. We need to fix our schools and our hospitals, our roads and our water infrastructure. Yes, we need to close those potholes, even as the Secretary General is now moving to a new position from his position as Minister of Transport, where he's been seeking to close potholes. We need to also employ people because they are competent, because they are committed, not because they are connected to other people. We need to professionalize the public service, and the patronage that may have existed in the past should come to an end. People must be appointed because they have the ability, the capability of serving our people, and that must be the standard. And we must show no mercy to those who steal money from the poor, whoever they are and wherever they are. This is the definitive mandate that I have seen and heard emerging from discussions at this conference. And we are bound by our commitment to the ANC and to the people of South Africa to fulfill that responsibility. As we have come to the end of the first part of this conference, as we adjourn this conference and will hold the second and last part in January on a hybrid fashion, we return to our provinces, to our branches, filled with the commitment that indeed the African National Congress must continue to serve the people of our country.
All right. These words, they are very powerful. Yes. First of all, we need to note that down. These words are very powerful. These words are the words that everyone, whether you are ANC member or not, we were all expecting to hear these kind of words coming from the president. Do you know why? I'll tell you first of all. Someone like a president is someone who is being considered as the father of everyone. Is a person who's supposed not to be having some rankles with other people, someone who had to fight with people around. No. Instead, is someone who's supposed to be having that big heart, whereby even those who have wronged you, you have to forgive them. If someone does something wrong to you, you close your blind eye and put it aside. You put smile every time. So, yes, not long ago in this video, I told you that people who had voted against the President Ramaphosa, those public figures, they'll pay soon or later. And that's what most of people are expecting out there. And that is the reason why I said to you, some of these people, they'll start resigning from their duties anytime from now. Now, the president here he come, telling people that we need the unity of the ANC. That's very beautiful. But as I ask you at the end of this video, Mr. President, these words you are saying here, these beautiful words about being united in the ANC, on which conditions? Because you are not just entering, you are not just being, this is not your first time to be elected as the president of the ANC. You have been there. And all this mess up, all this nonsense that happened in the ANC, whereby you end up realizing yourself that the ANC is divided and they are not united. It did happen under your nose. What did you do for it to get to this point? That's just a question. Mr. President is asking about the unity of the ANC, which means Paul, I recall his name again. As Mashatile have to come in. Who else? Lindiwe Sisulu. She have to come in. Who else? There are so many, all of them, the way you see them trending on social media. Those who are being suspended, those who are being chased out from the ANC. There are so many of them. And there are so many of them. Some of them actually, they are even busy leaving the ANC, going to other political parties, such as the EFF of Julius Malema and the Bosa of Musmaiman. All these people, they were doing part of the ANC. If you guys will get to see now this, we are now behaving a lot of political parties in South Africa, like mushroom coming out from the sand. It is because somewhere in the ANC something is not sitting okay. Not everyone is benefiting in the ANC. So now they feel like, because when we get to read well the mind of the ANC, it is this one property which our father work and our parent work for. Okay? They build it for us as a legacy. And now they have died, they have passed on. We remain. Some people, they're like, no, you are just a small boy, you are a small girl. We can't share the same. Me, I'm your big brother, I'm your elder brother. That's what is happening. Some people are just like, no, I've been there. Yeah, in the time of liberation movement. Remember when we went to Angola? Remember when we went to Tanzania? I've been there. I suffer for this movement. I went to jail for this. That's what is happening. Do you guys still remember what Minister Becky Tele told that white guy who was chased from his press conference? Because the guy had to tell him the truth of what is happening in that community. He had to remind that guy that you are just a boy, you don't know nothing. I went to jail for this. So you had to remind people the sacrifice you have done in your revolution. And that's what a lot of ANC members are doing. I played you a video of Fikile Mbalula, who had also to remind people on how he had traveled to this country, he had work of this person, he had experience from this and that and that. So it is all about showing off, reminding people of what you have done in the ANC. And as long as these kind of things continue, the unity that Mr. President is trying to preach here is not going to work. It's not going to succeed. Do you know why? Because you are not tackling the real problem. You are running away from the real problem and try to do something else. That is the problem, guys. That is the thing. Yeah, ne? So it is very important that to know that the unity Mr. President is calling, this unity, for those who always watch me, you guys will remember, I said if it was up to me, this is the same the thing that they're supposed to work on first. Working on the unity of the ANC, calling everyone who are feeling abandoned from the ANC responsibilities, calling everyone who are being expelled, calling everyone who are being suspended, especially those who are being suspended wrongfully. Sit down with them, come up to a closure, to something more understandable, something that all of you can agree about. Then go to the election. Then everything will work properly. But unfortunately, that did not happen. Today, Mr. President is preaching about the unity of the ANC. Let's wait and see how this call or this message will be welcomed to these other members who feel like they don't have much to do with the leadership of President Ramaphosa. Let's wait and see. But he also spoke about the renewal of the ANC. Wow, guys, this things of the renewal of the ANC, isn't it one of the reasons that made the ANC being divided? This is what made the ANC being divided. And do you know why? Because some of the members who don't want these things of renewal, they feel like it is a way of them being eliminated from the ANC responsibility or post. And On our side, I even told you that it is another strategy that the ANC is trying to eliminate some people. And one of the reasons that I put things that no, we need to renew because we have youth. The youth, they need to take over. We have, okay, fine. But now that they finished this election, can you mention how many youth do you see them in those high positions? Or are you going to tell me that in the ANC, there is no any youth who are more responsible to do what is right in the ANC? Excuse me, let me drink water. So you're going to tell me that in the ANC, there is no other youth who can assume that kind of a big responsibility? No. It's just something that, as I said earlier on, family members who are trying to challenge each other, like, no, I need a big portion. No, you don't need it. No, let me take it. That's what has been going on. So let's wait and see how this message will be welcome to everyone in the ANC and how they'll comment about it, as because the president does deliver the speech. So we're gonna wait and see in 3-4 days to see what people don't have comment about it. Guys, before I get to finish, there's something which I wanted to discuss also about this ANC Congress. Something very important. I almost forget about it. So I'm gonna discuss it maybe in 5 minutes. Well, guys, one thing I noticed, in all the top 7 new elected members of the ANC, there is not a Zulu in. Yes, there is not anyone who come from KZN to present the KwaZulu-Natal people in. And I get to listen a debate on the radio. Something that really awakened me as well. One of the analysts who was in the studio, he simply said that what killed the ANC is because they want everything. Then I'm like, okay, is this making sense? Then I start looking at what the KZN ANC they have done so far, or who they have aligned. Then I look the whole list, the way they were imposing to take over, starting with Zweli Mkhize going down. And remember, the KZN ANC is the most big one in the ANC. They have a lot of members. So I get to look, I'm like, okay, what happened? Why if they have all these members? And we saw how they even gain a lot of supporters from Mpumalanga, from Northwest, from Limpopo as well. With all these supporters, they're supposed to knock out President Ramaphosa and put any other person of their choice. But what happened? How come President Ramaphosa came out with more than 500 votes ahead of Zweli Mkhize? Was that a strategy of these people who came and said that Zweli Mkhize, we're going to vote you, and the next things when they went in the ballot, they changed their mind? Or what? Then I get to look back again. I'm still in my thinking. I get to look back again. What happened in 2018, 2019, 2018? When President Ramaphosa have to face Nkosazana Zuma for the ANC president. And Nkosazana Zuma was sent by the ANC from KwaZulu-Natal. They had put it here there. They failed again. So come to think of all this, I end up now agreeing with one of the person who was in the studio to say that what is killing the ANC, what is killing the KZN ANC It's because of the arrogance. It is because of the proud. The fact they know that they are the majority in the ANC and they are so desperate to take over. Since Zuma was from the KwaZulu-Natal, after Zuma had left, we had Ramaphosa. Now they believe after Ramaphosa, there should be someone from KwaZulu-Natal. And there should not be someone from Free State. There should not be someone from Mpumalanga or other provinces. So, other people, other delegates, they had paid attention to that. They have seen that arrogancy. And they're like, okay, fine. We're going to do it differently. And if this continue, this kind of arrogance continue like this, trust me, even after President Ramaphosa, people from KwaZulu-Natal, they might end up themselves not having a high position anymore. So, I believe this maybe should be something like a warning to them, so that they'll be able to see what to do and what not to do. Well, guys, that it was just something that I want also to discuss with you, because it's very surprised, like when I find out of 7 people, not even one from KwaZulu-Natal is among these members. So I wanted also to give also my point of view on it. But we have reached to the end of our video for today. You know, guys, thank you so much for taking your time to watch this video until now, regardless of this crazy load shedding that we are experiencing. We started fine, but as you can see, like enough, I have a small Panasonic light. That's what is trying to light me right now. So it can't really give a lot of brightness in the video. But the most important things, you hear what I had to say to you, because it was very important to discuss this matter with you today. So before you leave, please do me a surprise. Do me a favor, because this is the only way to support us, not with money, but at least just to like this video. You'll see next year that thumbs, just like the one which is 10 up. I really do appreciate. Tell us also what you think about this video in the comment section, so that we can also understand why we need to correct and do better in our next video. My name is Dobson Nyembe, for those who are joining us, and I'm here almost every day around the same time to give you our latest update in the world of the news and celebrities. So thank you so much for now. Continue to be yourself, be good, be kind, have respect for everyone in order for you to be respected. May God bless you all. I'll see you again very soon. Ciao, ciao.